Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unpopular Review.
Thank you all for clicking on our faces.
New flag with all that.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes.
Shots do that. I don't want to sit too hard. That's twice. That'll probably go over about as well as Colonel Dippy.
Because there was no Jay White side.
Okay, just straight up gangbanging. This story has been finished. You gotta pay attention.
So Unpopular Review does not. What is the CEO of, Chris? Jesus golly. Let's start the show.
Jesus golly. Parent discretion is advised. I'm a good father. I took my teenager to go see Deadpool. We're going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. There was no sexual, physical content, right? I'm a good dad. And I mean, hell, I just found out today that my baby is going to have a baby, y'all. We'll be right back. We're going to talk Deadpool and Wolverine, and we're spoiling all this. Oh, people, we are here. I am Mike Knox. I am joined by Stephen Willie Beaver replacing Victor Moan Jr. today. And down there with the half fade, half flashes hanging off, but we know they're not Ray-Bans. That is the executive consultant.
Tonight's broadcast has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood.
I love it, and we love you. Team No Ma'am is here, and we are talking the biggest blockbuster of the summer, Mr. Deadpool and Wolverine. And I mean, I'm just going to just start off and just say it, right? As this is the non-spoiler review, I am Mike Knox. That is Willie Steeman Beeman. As I said before, that is the executive consultant. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe to Unpopular Review Entertainment, Unpopular Review Wrestling, the Mike Knox Show, you name it. Steeman Willie Beeman's TikTok. Listen. Okay, he be dancing too much. But we're going to talk about this today. And what a movie, right? This is Deadpool and Wolverine. This is the third rendition of the Deadpool franchise. Personally, my opinion here is this is the last solo Deadpool movie we will see. I think from here on, he is plants his flag, if you will, into the MCU universe. I think that the cameos alone is worth this entire price of admission. I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie, but I enjoyed this movie up there with those who may not like this, Thor Ragnarok. I enjoyed the shit out of Thor Ragnarok just for the sheer comedic genius and the action alone. And this is probably the most movie since Endgame in the MCU that I've enjoyed. Not going to say it's better than Black Panther 2, things like that. My kids say Shang-Chi is that one, that's their film, but we all highly enjoyed this. Ryan Reynolds is back. He finally gets Hugh Jackman. They're all donning on the suits. They got Deadpool dog and everything else that takes place in this film. But Willie, you're like a guest here, sir. So I want to start with you. Yeah, I said a guest. He hears sometimes. We don't know if he's ever going to be around, but he's here right now. So your thoughts of Deadpool and Wolverine? My God.
Well, you know my famous quote in the chat is what I meant, and I ain't missed nothing about Deadpool Wolverine. Because man, that movie was super funny. Like just even like
who the what? So backstage, we talk for like an hour before we go on stage, and he's fine. And now he's on air live, and we can't hear shit he has to say. Still ain't there. Executive consultant, please stop the editing and comment, please, on the show right now.
First of all, I want to let everybody know that it's a pleasure to be here and to enjoy the company of Stephen Willie Beeman. We don't see him but once a year, unless he's doing some dancing on Instagram Reel or a TikTok. He's backstage giving people middle fingers. Bring him up one stage so he can go back off the line for a second.
In seconds.
You can go ahead.
my phone rung. Like some people, they was calling me. I don't know why.
What kind of phone do you have, Willie?
Oh, don't do that.
But
Don't do
It's a
that.
good question.
That's just
It's
that-
an important
just
question.
Willie. It's just a Willie thing.
no,
You say
I'm
so.
here.
Willie, before Mike not so rudely interrupted you, which he does quite often, you can go ahead and you can say what about this movie and what you missed.
Like I said, I didn't miss anything about this movie because I was here for it. I watched it all. That's a rare thing that you'll never hear me say that. But anyway, the beginning, like him doing the NSYNC
Bye,
dance,
bye, bye.
him doing the NSYNC dance while he was killing with Wolverine skeleton. Like, yo, that shit was fucking hilarious. And then he actually started doing the steps from the video. And that was golden. Like, they did. Like, this even though it's like I never thought Disney would let him go that far. Like,
That's for sure. They're not letting your microphone get reconnected too, so you can go further. As well. We need that back in the life. But I thought that as an opening scene, executive consultant, that was great because he said, I'm not going to use a single weapon. But he actually used the ultimate weapon, Weapon X, and Wolverine, and poor TVA. All right. A lot of spoilers in this one. So one of the things that came out before we went to go see it, my daughter said she looked at the cast of the movie. And you know, I'm a big favor of where you get your content from. And she said, Loki's in the film. And I'm like, I didn't know that. Why would you tell me that? Blah, 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 blah. Then they took the TV and I'm like, okay, that makes sense if Loki's in the movie. But Loki wasn't in the film. Executive consultant. Your thoughts? Are you back, Willie? Seaman, baby?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No, it's the same, but go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
You're at least you're welcome
now,
to the
can you hear me
barbecue.
now?
Yes, sir. Speak.
All right, man. We're back.
Executive consultant, your takes of the opening starts of the movie, man.
I have no idea what's going on. I feel like I missed something here, but that aside, right? That aside, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about what I think Willie mentioned that hit the nail on the head because it's the first thing I was going to mention. I used to tease him, Mike Knotts, all the time about this little saying he has. It's called, the greatest of all time, the greatest of all time. Like you say, whatever freaking thing, right? I'm going to say something. I think this was one of the greatest opening scenes in movie history. Not the greatest of all time, but one of the greatest opening scenes in movie history. Him dancing to Bye 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 and all those unique kills he did with Deadpool, Wolverine's carcass was very, very entertaining. It was mysterious because I'm like, what the F is going on? It was funny. It was action sequence. It was very, very well put together. The villain in this movie, Charles Xavier's sister, could body Thanos. She was that powerful. It was very, very entertaining because you never really, not too many people know of her because she doesn't exist.
She doesn't exist.
So for them to bring her in the way they did, I thought was very entertaining. The cameos were good in this movie. So I was talking to Mike Knox.
Good?
Good. Good. It was good. It was good.
They were great.
I'll say good. So
they were great.
Thank you. Hey, let's rewind. I want everybody, I know this live on YouTube, but if you actually go down to that little scroll bar, you can rewind where I said, hey, this man interrupts all the time. And right now he's interrupting me, right? So let's mute your mic, okay? And let me talk and tell you why I say good and not great, okay?
My mic
good, because whether you like it or not, in the year 2024, most of these characters are B players. Now, granted, I'm not upset to seeing them. I was very happy to see Blade. I clapped. I was definitely happy to see the Human Torch. I clapped. Elektra, low-key, is not that strong a character anymore, even though I was a big fan of her. Gambit with Channing Tatum, the time and the moment is past. Okay? It's past. Yes, it has, right? I like the characters. I don't think they needed to put every single Avenger. You don't need to see all the Hulks. You don't need to see Captain America all the time, Iron Man and stuff like that. But one or two wouldn't I have hurt, right? But what this movie was a hello Disney, goodbye Fox. And that's what the movie was. This, Blade is the father of MCU. That's debatable. This is...
Yes, he saved the whole...
He saved Marvel Comics as a whole. Yes, because of the movie. That is true. The true father of the MCU, though, in my opinion, is the one that's coming back as another stupid dumb-ass character that has no business coming back as another stupid-ass character. That is the true father, because if it wasn't for Iron Man in that 2008 movie, there would be no fucking MCU. Excuse my language.
No,
But,
if it wasn't for Blade, it would.
Willie, have you been to Mike's school of interrupting while I'm trying to get my rant on? Is that what you're doing? Go ahead, Willie. Go ahead. We don't hear from you unless you're dancing on TikTok. So go ahead and say something. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I agree with you most of the part, other than you saying that Blade wasn't the father of the MCU, because
Am I talking to you or AI?
his movie is what really, gave them, the budget to even make Iron Man and things like that. So
False.
anyway,
They didn't give them the
was.
budget to do it.
Yeah,
But I agree with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disrespecting Blade.
Man, why you interrupted the man? You gave.
I
you
will
called
not
the call,
disrespect
you
Blade because
interrupted him.
I want to make it clear I'm not disrespecting Blade. I would never disrespect Blade. I loved all the movies. I even like Blade Trinity. A lot of people didn't like that, but that's what made him and Ryan Reynolds were friends. So I'm not disrespecting Blade. But I'm saying he in this day and age, he's not as known, right? Wesley Snipes' Blade is not as known. For all these little kids.
This is why we call you the rain.
I don't care what you call me. You're not a meteorologist. You're not a meteorologist. You're not a weather reporter. Vic is not here.
I'm better at my job than they can ever be. First and foremost. Second, here's where you're mistaken at. This is where you're mistaken at. Okay.
First of all, you made a mistake already when you said I'm mistaken.
No, you're mistaken. Here's why. Because it's not about the impact of you saying, "Oh my God, we're not checking for anymore. Oh my God, we're not checking for Blade anymore." That wasn't the point.
Listen to what I am saying before you interrupt. I said it's a hello to Disney and a goodbye to Fox. That's exactly what I said. I said Elektra is not that important anymore. I did say that, but none of the words I said sounded like, "Oh my God, I'm not checking for Elektra anymore." I didn't say that. I never said that. No, I said nobody is paying attention to her as much as they did back in the day. But it's hello Disney and goodbye Fox. That's what I said. I'm not disrespecting Elektra. I will never disrespect Elektra. I actually like the freaking movie. Don't do that.
No one paid attention to Elektra back then. That's not the point. What you said was part of the point.
Oh my gosh! Why do you think Elektra got her spin off of her own movie?
For saying why? Because she was Jennifer Garner.
William, go back to you. All right, enough of Mike. William, go back to you. Finish talking about what happens with this movie. Go ahead.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying.
No, I don't want to hear. Go ahead, Willie. No, because you interrupted my whole shit to talk about what you wanted to talk about because you don't agree, which is what you do. Which is what you do. No, you're over here. Which is what you do, and I don't want to hear it. I was trying to tell you what I like to do.
Go ahead, Willie.
Hey, so we're not like about the cameos. Like,
what we're not going to do is mute the guy. We're not going to mute that. We're not going to do that. I will mute and get rid of you. No.
You get rid of me? You couldn't get rid of me.
I would get rid of you in a heartbeat. Do not do that. Never mute me again. This is not the Mike Knott show. I let you do it on the Mike Knott show because it's the Mike Knott show. I'm not going to let you do it here.
Well, you talked over me, which I thought was very ignorant.
I was talking. I was in the middle of what I was saying. You interrupted me.
You were done talking, and Willie was talking.
I was not done talking. I passed it on to Willie. I took the baton back, and now I would like to finish what I was saying, but you want to interrupt to talk about it. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Willie. Because Willie's the only one's going to make sense.
You had already,
so go ahead, Willie.
Had passed it to Willie. So that's what.
All right, I'll pass it back. Go ahead, Willie.
Okay.
We talking about cameos, right? It was like a pop, like on WWE, like when Electric, it was a mal pop. Then when Blade came out, like it was even a bigger pop in the theater. And then of course to get what we've been waiting for since like all the X-Men movies and all that period, like we've been waiting for cameos. So like I don't know, like the theater I was at, like it went off, like they went fuck off. Not just because it was Channing Tatum, but just because we like really finally got to see Gambit really do a thing. And so that was dope. Just seeing Deadpool and Wolverine fight things, like when they fighting each other, like that shit gotta go down in history. Like they literally fought for like a whole day. Like you see the sun go down, the sun come up, the sun go back. Like they was really fucking each other up, and like just like that was, I guess that was them earning each other respect. Cause like once that happened, like like it got on the pocket. But back to Charles Xavier's sister, you talk about man fucking, like she really was sticking her fingers and really like fondling niggas' brains and thoughts with her hands, like she was grabbing stacks of balls with niggas' brains, like that shit.
Twice, 2 times.
Horrible. I'm sorry. But Yeah, like I don't know where the sister came from. Did y'all ever see Professor X?
No,
As
well, that's why they sent her here. She was never. No one knew she existed. Charles didn't even know she existed. That's how they wrote it.
Oh, the thing. So yeah, so like that's something different, I guess. Like how we getting. Sorry, Chris, to do this, but sorry, yeah, Tony, playing goddamn Doctor Doom.
All
It's
I
like
was saying was what you just said to him was the same thing. It wasn't about who was popping versus who's not popping. It was about all of it. It was about finally seeing Channing Tatum, who I think is the worst part of the entire movie. I hate Channing Tatum as an actor. I think he's the worst actor in Hollywood history. That's why his accent was so bad. It's done on purpose because people thought he couldn't do a good job. It wasn't about Elektra popping up. No one ever checked for Elektra. Her having a spinoff had to do with her being famous as a character. It had to do with Elektra being, Jennifer Garner being Jennifer Garner. Blade, who they talked about, Blade's cameo made sense. They pick on Ryan Reynolds and him not getting along. They pick on the fact that there should be no other more Blade movies. It wasn't just a complete fuck to Disney. It was a complete fuck to Fox as well. I couldn't believe they got away with so much of the fuck yous. Even the cameos of the greatest Superman of all time, Henry Cavill. But that was rumored. Is he going to play Wolverine? Or is he going to play Dr. Doom? They even teased in that. The cameos were anyone because you don't have to agree with me. That's life. It was what you were saying about not agreeing with me. If they pop for you, they didn't pop for you, they didn't pop for me, they popped for me. That's neither here or there. It was your reasoning for why you said it didn't pop, is where I was saying you were wrong at, sir.
Well, a great man once told me that my opinion can never be wrong, but I guess that person doesn't exist. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Professor Xavier's sister from the comics.
That looks just like her.
Putting it out there. She dressed just like her. In the meantime,
what book was that?
It's a comic book. That's all I know. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run these commercials for what we're doing this coming week. If I have it, I might not have it. If that's
you
the case,
should have the majority of them. You should have Tenants there. Tenants there.
In that case, we'll be right back.
All I have for you is a word.
Pause. It is not Tenet. It's actually this movie.
What's the last thing that you do remember?
My wife. I have no short-term memory. Since my injury, I can't make new memories. Everything fades. If we talk for too long, I'll forget how we started. And next time I see you, I'm not going to remember this conversation. I don't even know if I've mentioned before. I've told you this before, haven't I?
What I don't have is Cool Runnings, because Cool Runnings is coming up on Thursday. The Memento, which find out what I think about that movie, is on Tuesday.
I heard good things about that film.
You would.
I didn't say it was good. I never saw it before, but they say I've heard good things about that film. So even with
Freckles, my God, please. Why would you even mention this? I'm glad you couldn't spell Dr. Look, I'm glad you couldn't spell.
I thought that was Robert Downey Doom.
No, it's trying to say doctor, but you typed it so fast it came out as RD. Because the bottom line is, it needs not to be Dr. Doom because it's not Dr. Doom. It's not the true Dr. Doom. Not at all. Stupid.
We are talking the episode of the movie Deadpool, but the news broke overnight of Robert Downey Jr. returning, which to me absolutely does kind of trump Deadpool and the significance of Deadpool coming out. If you haven't seen it, there it is. If you're on the rock, if you're on YouTube, you've definitely seen this happening. But I, as you were saying, Willie, I think you actually had said it. Nova was OP as hell. She would have beat Thanos. She would have this movie was good in the aspect of somebody who's not a Deadpool guy. I don't like the Deadpool first movie was okay. It was pretty good for what it was. I didn't need the second movie at all. Anticipating this one just merely because of the rumors. All the rumors you got about it being moving forward with the MCU and things of that nature. So it was just like, okay, let's move forward with that. So I'm going to go see it with zero expectation. And it had some dull moments. I mean, if you've seen Van Wilder, you've seen Deadpool. And that's where I think the disconnection is for me, is like some rude, crude comedy is unnecessary. And it didn't always stick with me. excuse me. But when it did, I enjoyed it. I did laugh throughout the whole movie. My wife, who's not a Deadpool girl, she just sat there a lot of the movie, other than the action. She's a big Wolverine fan, so she wasn't happy with some of the comedy as well. But funny enough, my children laughed, even at some of the things I thought that there's no way they knew what they're talking about. You know what I mean? And there were some things they didn't laugh at because there were no idea they knew what they were talking about, that the adults did laugh. That was there. It's definitely not a children's movie. I got teenagers. Okay. So yeah, Willie.
Too, like where when Deadpool first came out, like we was like, wow, and shock of some of the stuff. But like in between like the last Deadpool film, and that's when like we even got stuff like shows like The Boys and Gen V and stuff like that. So now when we seeing superheroes or whatever, quote unquote, those certain stuff that was shocking or appalling on her. Like now we like, man, we just seen that on The Boys. So like them having the whole motherfucking murder fest when we just watched Homelander just kill a whole goddamn rooftop of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
no, I don't. I don't watch that show.
You
I am not a fan of my superheroes or my super content being in that nature. I'm not the biggest fan of. I know The Boys are popular. I hear nothing but great things about it. I've tried multiple times. Cannot get into it. Same as I can't get into Titans. I could get into what was the one that was on Max? Doom's Patrol. Then that's the furthest I went with a show. I did finish Doom Patrol. All right. Other than like, what's the Joe and John Cena? Other than him, that's the closest I get.
I watched both seasons.
Yeah, I saw that episode of The Boys, the first episode, when the so-called Superman Homelander told the girl pretty much wanted to be part of the Justice League of America. She had to go ahead and give him some head. I lost it from that point on.
Look, it gets wilder from there. Like him and like the quote unquote Wonder Woman be on like an airplane, and he'd be like, I don't feel like flying everybody down, man. Like, look, they just not about to make it. And he fly off the what's the name of the whole motherfucking plane crash. But it's just like
we do plan on watching The Boys, and I know Willie's his
I was wondering if you're gonna stop the spoiler
stuff because he likes to do that apparently, as he spoiled a lot of Deadpool and Wolverine, like people had not seen it. But that aside, let's move on.
All right.
What's your favorite part of this movie, there, executive consultant?
The end.
How so?
I like the last scene, the end credit scene.
Oh, the end credit scene was your best part of the movie. Okay, what could this movie have done without? Would you have taken anything out of this movie? Were there any misses for you in this movie?
No, there was absolutely no misses in this movie whatsoever.
I wasn't.
There was a part, but it was important to the movie, so I understand it. One thing I like about The Dark Knight, that's one of my favorite movies. Actually, it is my favorite movie. Is I feel like Dark Knight has no low periods at all. Right? When it did look like it was about to have a low period, some dead body hit a glass. And
that boat scene at the end was drug on for me.
Okay, well that's fair. But to me, it had no low periods. And when he was not accepted into the Avengers, right, which was a little long also, and he had the party that lasted a little bit longer. I'm like, okay, are we going to get to what's going on and stuff like that? So that was a little long, but I understand the importance because you had to see, one, you could tell that all those actors were brought in for one day to film all those scenes. And then two, it was important to the story because you had to see what he was fighting for. So I could say I could do without the scene, but I understood why it was important to the movie.
I didn't need the Deadpool fight scene.
Deadpool fighting Deadpools?
The Deadpools versus Wolverine.
So, but you understand why they had that?
No, I thought it was a waste of movie.
Okay.
The point of the movie, that point was to point out these other Deadpools from other races. It didn't make any sense. We know that he can't be killed. So all that murder was for nothing. It was only going to come back anyway. That was a part of the movie where this movie, to me, that I didn't need it. I'm not saying it wasn't good. It wasn't funny. But it okay. When I say didn't need it, what you just mentioned helped add to the movie. That Deadpool scene didn't add to the movie, and that's where I
agree with you because I think, like, you know how we get the different little variations of Deadpool on social media or different ways we see him on merch. Like we've seen the girl version of Deadpool with the long blonde ponytail. We've seen the little baby Deadpool. We've seen the little teenage Deadpool, even samurai. Like some way, shape, or form, we've encountered those other versions of Deadpool, whether it be on social media or if it's in comics.
But how does that add to the movie, though? How does that make the movie move? The movie's moving. That's the fourth act. How does that add to the fourth act of the film?
That's just. I mean, I don't think it like. I think it really was more of a. If this is his last solo movie or whatever the case may be, like, all right, bam, like this is what we're gonna do. Like we're gonna let y'all see the like Spider-Man. Is different with the what is that Spider-Verse when you got the pig Spider-Man, you got the
well, that made sense because they're in the whole Spider-Verse of Spider-Man fighting a bunch of other Spider-Men. That made sense because the movie pointed it out. This didn't make any sense.
These were different variants that came out with the portal that
I get the sparkly Marvel money.
Came out the you know what I'm saying, came out of that. Like she had Doctor Strange ring and everything.
The putty.
That's what it's for. That's the answer to your question. All right. They wanted to team up of just Deadpool and Wolverine so they have the cool scenes, the cool fighting scenes, and everything like that. So they needed to find every superhero movie has putties, right? In some variation, in some form. Even Ultron, he had those little stupid ass robots. Everybody has it. So that's what it was. And they decided to, instead of giving Cassandra just randos, because you had the big scene earlier where they fought all those B+ players.
Man, it still had putties.
I mean,
you had putties, but they made it Deadpools. They made it extra Deadpools in order to give you another shout out. So
like the only B+ villain was Juggernaut and then Pyro. But Pyro was garbage.
Never saw Loki.
Yeah,
I didn't think that added. I don't think that part either in there. It was. I get what you're saying, Willie. And I think that's what it was. This definitely was to show. Well, this whole entire movie through Ryan Reynolds' career as Deadpool, he's broken 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th walls, right? So that's what that. If anything, it was that. I give you that in the advertisement. We've seen all the million Deadpools different places, but I don't think it was needed. Like even when Laura, she finds them after the fight, which is my favorite scene in the movie when they're fighting in the car together, the one-on-one fight scene with Wolverine and Deadpool. Like, let's go. If you watch. And I know I'm going to say a name of a channel here you're going to laugh at. If you watch Arrow on the CW, okay, there's a fight scene that they have, to me, one of the most better choreographic fight scenes I've ever seen, where they're fighting inside of a fucking limo. And it's just insane because, limo's a small, confined place to fight. But this time they're fighting inside of a fucking Honda Odyssey. That's even funnier because it's a small-ass car. And so for me, but even that progressed. It was like, okay, fine, let's get it on. You lied to me on the educated guess kind of thing. It made sense. Even Laura finding him and Laura talking to Wolverine, which to me was his character arc. You found the worst Wolverine in all the universes. Well, in this one, they all been bad. They've all had to find, in every superhero movie, they had to find that one thing that puts them over the top. And for him, I thought it all had that. I just didn't think that this added to the film in any way, other than, kicking ass and taking names with the putties. I give it that. That makes sense. But, I don't know how the hell they beat Nova. I'll tell you that. And things like that.
Well, they had to stay away from Nova in order to really beat her. That was the whole point, because realistically, especially the way she disintegrated, so to speak, the Human Torch, the only person that seems like they could be able to defeat Nova is maybe Phoenix. That being said, I'm going to get into my final thoughts real quick because it's time, we're running low.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say something unpopular. I don't really care because I just don't care. So this movie reminded me of a lot of a movie that came out almost exactly 1 year ago. And I'm talking about one fight scene in particular, and that is this movie right here. Right? The Flash, which when in retrospect was the ending of DCEU, which, hey, I'm very sad to see. This was somewhat of a goodbye, as I said before, to Fox. And I also am very sad to see because people don't give Fox the credit that it deserves.
Best X-Men movies of all time. Best Spider-Man.
Exactly. MCU has a lot to do. And let me tell you how MCU's X-Men are going to probably make everybody all happy. All these old nerds have come orgasms and shit.
We ain't even got word from them about X-Men yet.
They're going
sure it's coming?
Yeah, it's coming. They're going to throw in all these cameos to make it more popular, right? But X-Men did it on their own. and they created some of the best characters. I'm sorry, best actors to be characters, right? Like 2 good Magneto's, 2 good Professor Xavier. Wolverine has transcended throughout Fox. I just feel like that ending fight scene where they had Laura and they had Blade and they had Elektra reminded me a lot of the ending fight scene with Batman and Supergirl and Flash. Because especially when it looked like they all were getting killed. It just had a reminiscent effect to me. I'm not saying it was exactly like it, but it had an effect to me of like that. It was like, we're bringing these people back, i.e. Batman, Michael Keaton, as a, hey, hello to you, remember me, it's a tribute, now die. They did announce Avengers versus X-Men, but I don't know when they're going to do that because they just had Avengers. No, it was a movie because they just announced the Avengers False Day and Avengers Secret Wars. And let me tell you, Avengers Secret Wars is actually my favorite comic book arc. So that's 2 things they're probably going to F up. In the meantime,
cartoon arc.
We're here for a reason, not the cartoon arc. I didn't like the cartoon because
that's my favorite. That's my favorite one. That's the only one I know. That's the only one I know. Yeah. That's the only Civil War that I know.
They weren't able to. They had to change a few things around. They didn't have the rights to all the characters, so they couldn't put everything in there. But I mean, I get what you're saying. It wasn't bad. But since I actually read the one before they actually had a cartoon,
I'm sorry, I gotta say this, and I'm going to cut you off. Yeah. Where did they announce this at? Because this is nowhere. This isn't.
I saw it. Exactly. Why I say I'm not sure they're having that. I saw it.
That didn't get announced. That's
correct.
Not official.
But I don't think it was official, but I did see it in quite a few things. I actually also saw the Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom thing a couple days before.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I thought that was
I thought it was bullshit too. Yeah. I immediately said nah.
And just moved on. And then here it is. You know, it's greenery.
Ladies and gentlemen, of it for me, they did. But I'm sorry, go ahead with your final thoughts.
No, that's fine. My final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Did I enjoy the movie? That's the important question. Stay tuned.
Hold on, was it better than Flash?
It was better than Flash, but I liked Flash a lot. So that's hard for me to say because I thought Flash was underrated. What do you say, muted Willie?
It was way better than Flash.
Way better?
All right, I can respect that. Flash had a lot of low periods that Deadpool did. So I would say way better, but I think Flash was just very underrated. I think people hated it so much because of the actor who played Flash. Yeah. Go ahead, Willie. What's your final thoughts? I know you haven't been on UPRE in years. Here's a fun fact. Willie actually was an original member of Unpopular Review Entertainment.
Wow, fun fact. When last time he was on an episode?
2020. It was a pandemic.
Oh, look at that. Look at his cell phone going on. Look at that. Cody Rose Pyro. He paid for that himself, y'all. We didn't.
Whoa!
That's extra.
He said whoa. But the funny thing is, Willie, you're saying whoa, but we can't hear you when you say whoa because your microphone is so effed up or your iPhone. And this whole episode, I've heard your voice about as much as I've seen you talk in the chat. All right, go ahead.
I was.
You make us look bad, Willie.
I was mouthing it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay. Anyway.
A pimp named
nah. The high point of the movie for me actually just was like they Deadpool and Wolverine fight things. Like them joints was like that. Like literally, my man was like he was motherfucking bonded up in all the seatbelts in that joint. Like they really fucked each other over. And it was just funny. I knew it was gonna be lewd and cruel, but I expected that. Some of the shit I didn't just because of Disney. And so Disney really let it go, like Frozen said, they let it go. But outside of that, I give it a B. I give it a B plus. And would I see it again? Yeah, when it come on DVD or on the streaming service.
It'd be on streaming. You say I give it a B. So is that a thumbs up? Okay. Go ahead, give him that thumb. Give him the light skin thumb. Give him the Drake thumb. There you go. That's actually Chris's thumb, by the way. He says, "Oh no, your thumb. Your picture's your thumb." Again, this movie to me was a great farewell to Fox. It was a way to say thank you to Fox for giving you what there would be no MCU without. Okay. He says one of the best opening scenes to me. I'm saying this. He said earlier, and we say that that's fair because it was definitely entertaining. My wife was up at that point, but nothing will ever beat X-Men 2 to me. Okay,
Right.
that opening scene,
and that's my number one. Well, that or Dark Knight, but yeah, I give you.
That shakes it off right there. It was amazing, and I haven't even thought about Dark Knight putting there, but now that you say that was. Do you know who you're fucking with? You know what I'm saying? Is there any more bullets? Where you learn to count from, right? Very, very, very good Dark Knight opening scene. But this movie to me was just saying goodbye to all of it and saying simple, Marvel is back to me. It's why I give them the credit and the respect of what they're going to do with Dr. Doom. And in the wrestling terms, let me see what happens first before I hate on this 2 years from now, right? And the reason I say it because this is why I don't like time skipping and things like that in the first place, because you can do whatever you want. At that point, there's no continuity. When you have different Earths and different this and different that, it takes away from it. But this film and what this film was supposed to represent, having what we finally got was Hugh Jackman in the suit, in the helmet, bringing his daughter in there. And again, Marvel saying, don't pay attention to our trailers because none of that shit is true. Because in the trailers, Laura X-23 had on the yellow fucking Wolverine suit in the final trailer, but she did not have it on in this movie. Okay, I thought it was better her popping on the glasses. This thing was everything. I don't think no one could beat Mrs. Xavier, first and foremost. Not even Phoenix. I don't know. I've never seen nobody that's powerful. That the way she took that man's skin off of him, the way she took Wolverine and just drug him into the dirt and I ain't never seen nobody do the thing. She could have killed them all like this. Okay. And yet she was still afraid of whatever the fuck that big ass thing in the sky was. Okay. So put that in conference. Also, underrated Easter egg. Why is Thor crying? Why is that? What's that? Don't worry about that. That I predict will be in one of these Avenger movies. We're going to see that very clip.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned that more than one time. So, yes, that's definitely going to be an important part.
Also, you had at the fight scene when they go to 20th Century Fox on the ground, and it's that opening fight scene, bye. They show a comic book, okay, of Avengers Endgame. I'm not Endgame, I'm sorry, of Secret Wars. So,
they did.
So much of this movie was just looking the Fantastic Four shuttle as they were in that trash can world and things like that. They come back to the timeline. That's what I was going to say as a consultant. You mentioned Elektra's gone. They're farewells to people. Well, Elektra is a farewell. I think Gambit's a farewell. But Laura was not. Remember he said then in the movie, he said, hey, they did this. Can you bring any of them back to this timeline? Only one we saw at the party was Laura.
Yeah, I think all of them are done. That was just their one and done. But Laura,
I think Laura is back. Yeah.
I
think Laura comes back. So, and again, Blade,
Wolverine's done also.
I don't think Wolverine's done.
I think Wolverine's done.
No, like you don't think we get you don't think we get a Disney Gambit show like straight for like the
like a human version of a show.
Like just like on Disney app, like we might not get the movie.
A human or
I can see X-23 having a show.
Yeah, I can't see Gambit having a show.
No, Gambit they need to start over completely. When it comes to X-Men, they need to start from scratch.
That means start with the original X-Men. That
Correct.
means Wolverine.
With new actors.
I'll give you that too. But I don't think Hugh Jackman is done in the sense of being done. I think
he needs to be done.
He can always come back.
He can always come back, but in order for people always say, "Oh, he's the definitive Wolverine." In my opinion, and I'm sorry if I'm kind of Willie off because he's doing a lot of talking.
You can't hear nothing he's saying.
It got to be a younger Wolverine.
Oh, no,
okay, I'm sorry. Obviously, when one of us are talking, you can't talk because it drowns you out. No, I'm not saying it's a joke. I'm saying like when I talk.
No, I think you're right. You're right.
So I have to. If you're going to talk, I have to stop saying. There's no sound that should be coming from my thing. So what were you saying? You have to repeat everything.
Oh, I was saying I think if you introducing Wolverine, Mike, fuck you. If y'all introducing the X-Men to the MCU now, like Wolverine has to be younger. You can't have his old ass talk and a young Gene and all that. That's gonna look creepy.
I'm just-
Willie's easy. You don't even have to press a mute button on him. You just got to talk. He just can't. But no, I feel like they should all just be completely new actors. And I think Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, he's retired the mantle of Wolverine because people always act like he's a defender of Wolverine, which he is. But nobody else has had a chance to play him, right? I think somebody else can play Wolverine and do just as good a job if you let somebody else play his ass. So, but I don't think they will respect him if Hugh Jackman's still playing the role.
Don't fuck it up like they did for T'Challa.
Or Superman.
Because I've said, well, that I'll argue. T'Challa should have been recasted.
I always said that, but from the rumors that we hear, but I don't know about rumors anymore. But they're wanting to replace him now.
Well,
I heard Robert Downey Jr. is available.
What I'm you stupid. What is the what the rumor is they're going to fast forward and make the son grown.
All right,
that's
done.
exactly.
It was this a SmackDown penitentiary? That's
exactly. So for me, my final thoughts, great movie, thumbs up. No alcohol requires, my man Jamie Johns would say. I love Deadpool. Gonna see it a second time. I thought it was a phenomenal cast. I thought the movie was good. I thought the actors was good. I thought it was perfectly casted. Best way to open up a movie I've seen in a very long time. It was just flat out a good time had by all at the movie theaters. It's why you go back to the movie theaters, to have everybody come out, clap, laugh, be excited. This was a great time by all. Listen, No Ma'am is here. We may fight amongst each other, but we promise you this: we burn this bitch down, you get us pissed. Go watch this film. Comment below. Let us know. We see y'all next time, y'all. Fingers. This is No Ma'am.
Tonight's broadcast has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood.